Well, hey everybody. I feel like I have not talked to you in voiceover mode or really in video mode for a long time. So welcome back. We're finally getting back into the groove of things with memory keeping videos. This is going to be for August 5th through the 11th, which does not feel like the memories of this week don't feel like they were that long ago. But it has been what, like 8 or 9 weeks at this point, almost 2 months. Yeah, I've been busy. We'll get into it in the next few Plan With Me videos. In fact, we'll start getting into it this week because this is where things started to get really busy. But yeah, my life has just gotten so much more packed with stuff the last few months than I had originally planned. So that's where we're at. But we're gonna take a break from that for a second and do some sticker planning. So I have a Lynner Designs kit, a mini kit called Garden Party, and then I paired that with some gold foil overlays from the Prairie Planner, as well as an old foil bundle from Scribble Prints Co. in like gold prism. And I loved how this foil combo turned out. I don't, as you know, do a whole lot of like full foil, and even this week was not full foil, but it was closer to full foil than I've done in a long time. And paired with like the twinkle lights or kind of like the string lights in the kit and with like the sparkle off the fountain in this art, like it turned out super nice. I did do a couple extenders, one on Sunday and one on Tuesday, just because this was a busy week. We went to our friend's wedding in Washington, in Eastern Washington, not like Seattle area, which if you're not aware, like inland Oregon and Washington is very different than like Portland or Seattle. Like Portland, Seattle, very foggy, rainy, lots of green, like evergreen trees, and there's still like a good amount of evergreen in like the eastern part of those states, but it's a lot drier and hotter in the summer in those areas. So that's where we were. And I just thought this kit would be so cute for a summer backyard wedding. Like there's little espresso martinis in the box that's on Monday, and like the pitcher and all the cute drinks and cake in the boxes on Tuesday and Thursday. And then of course a very cute scene on Saturday and Sunday. I've actually never had an espresso martini. I'm a little worried with how small I am that my heart will like go into overdrive. So I never order one, but one of these days I'm gonna have to like at least sip on one just to see what happens because I think it would be very tasty. But yeah, we went to Washington Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Excuse me, I have to cough. And I thought this kit worked perfectly for that. It even sort of, the colors even sort of matched the bride's bouquet. But it was very like sunflower, like summer flowers colored. But yes, this was my husband's high school friend, so I consider her my friend too because I've known her for at least 10 years at this point, and she was in our wedding, and she found her happily ever after, and so they got married, and it was very like elopement style, like very low key. Yeah. So we went out into the woods for the ceremony. It was just like literally on a hiking trail, and then the bride's parents hosted us for a backyard dinner and drinks, and it wasn't like, you know, more typical American wedding where like you have dancing and stuff like that, but that was totally fine. Very small group of people, and we just like sat around and chatted all night, and yeah, it was a good time. I did vlog this week, so I didn't show any of the clips that I took of like the actual marriage ceremony, although I didn't even do that much anyway because I didn't want to get in the way, even though I brought my camera, but I didn't feel like, I think this is pretty obvious, I'm not going to share somebody else's like clips of their wedding with the general public. I sent them to the bride and her friends and left it at that. So the vlog just kind of shows a little bit of our perspective, but leaves out the actual like wedding. So hope you understand, but at the same time, like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. So I did choose a few overlays from the Prairie Planner. It says nature is our family on Saturday. I thought that was cute for a wedding in the woods. And then I didn't write, I picked the one that says collect moments, not things, and I put that on Wednesday. I thought that was funny for the box that had the shoes in the bag, because that is kind of my vibe, is just like, I thrift most of my clothing, and usually I buy new shoes because shoes are hard to thrift. And I thrift a lot of stuff in order to save money and spend on more experiences. And also just setting ourselves up for life. And then the rest of the boxes just got the Scribble Prints Co. overlays, and they added a very pretty sparkle to them. And then I did use the half cut headers as like underlays on one box for each of the days, because that's as many as I had. I will say I'm glad we've kind of moved away from these half cut headers. They were a good way originally to get like that sparkle behind your boxes without having to use like a whole sheet of stickers. However, they are a pain in the butt, and sorry that you can see. I'm pretty sure I filmed this right after taking a shower, so like that's the towel on top of my head in case you were curious. But yeah, I just wanted to use these. I really love this gold prism pattern, like it's extra sparkly, but the half cut headers were a pain in the butt to put down. I was able to pull up like several at a time and still keep them like straight, but underlays as a full box are just so much easier. So I just wanted to get these out of my collection and onto the page, and they did give a wonderful sparkle. And then I used header overlays, which I don't normally use header overlays even when I do foil, but for a special week I thought this was super pretty. I love that fountain in the full box right there. So let's get into the sidebar. So for habit trackers, I was still doing Duolingo this week. I have totally fallen off of my Duolingo goal. I've just been too busy and tired. So I'm going to use the 2 habit trackers from the kit. Actually, there were 3 habit trackers in this mini kit, but I just used 2 of them. And then my second one is going to be for Clover's inhaler. I don't know how long I'm going to track Clover's inhaler, but let's be honest, I'm not doing a ton of great habits right now for myself, so I might track her inhaler for a while. And then I did have to pull in a weekly checklist from my leftovers collection. I luckily was able to find like an orange one that pretty much matched. And then I'm going to put 2 half boxes down. I'm actually at the end of this video going to switch out the second half box, but the first one is going to be for the weekly vlog, so I will put in a camera icon from the Scribble Prints Co. foil bundle. And then originally I was going to put in some lyrics from a song because I was grouchy about something this week. But then at the end of the video, you will see me pull that up, put it on a blank page in my planner, and just fill in with a wedding cake from Cinderella paper to write in the couple's names who got married this week. So then moving into Monday, I'm going to do the deco at the end of this video. Anyway, on Monday, the first thing I'm going to mark with a character from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. is that it was week 11 complete for Clover's post-medical treatment observation. And then I started the morning just by watching some Olympics gymnastics clips. I talked about this in the vlog, but it was just really inspiring to both see people like Carlos Yulo being really like good at what they do, but also very emotional and like showing that emotion. And then also there was that moment at the podium with Rebecca Andrade, who's from Brazil, and Simone Biles and other American gymnasts kind of like saluting her. So that was very heartwarming to see. So I used an old Molly Goes to like the Planner Olympics sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I also did laundry this day, so I just have a couple of things from the foil bundle. And there was some planner Instagram drama nonsense this day. There's been a lot this summer, it feels like, among various cliques is what I'm going to call them, honestly. And so I think after this day, I can't remember exactly when I did this, but there were a lot of people I just unfollowed because whether I agreed with them or not, I was just kind of tired of seeing people bickering about stuff. Like, I have my opinions on things as well, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't share their opinions. Obviously, people are more than welcome to. It's just, I don't know that I really need the extra drama right now. I already have a job where I have to pay attention to like really important topics and deal with a lot of important stuff on a daily basis. Like, so when I go on Planner social media, it's not really what I want to deal with there. It's not like I'm not focusing on important issues already with my work and with my daily life. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Then I had a teaching interview this day. So I used a Molly resume sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. and that went well. They offered me classes right at the end of the interview because they needed some people to be able to teach classes, and the semester started 2 weeks from this day. So then I had a bunch of onboarding paperwork, and I feel like onboarding paperwork anywhere is like a lot, but with teaching especially, there's just a lot that needs to be done in order to make sure you are who you say you are, that you have the experience that you say you do, and that you get like everything sorted. And then with the community colleges, I also have to do like a TV clearance. I haven't had to actually take a test, but I have had to have like a screening questionnaire for both colleges. So I was doing all that onboarding paperwork. This time I didn't have to like provide my transcripts. They didn't need that for some reason, but I used a to-do list Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I weighed Clover, that's from Cinderella Paper. And then I was watching really old holiday episodes of Great British Bake Off that were on Roku. It was like the ones I hadn't seen before because they were super old. So I thought it would be funny to use these Molly Beach Christmas stickers for the 2 days that I watched that. Top of Tuesday, sorry that you can't see this, I was ranting too much about Planner Instagram, but I cuddled Clover, so that character was from Beneva Creations. My husband wasn't feeling well, so I used a Molly for that, and then I called the California smog referee to try to figure out some things with my car. Got nowhere with that, but I marked that with something from the foil bundle, as well as working out. And then I had to go up to the HR office to turn in some documents. Let me know how you feel about this. I feel like HR lately wants you to like email stuff and they're like, oh, you can just encrypt the email. And I'm just like, yeah, sorry, I'm not sending my social security number by email, even if it's supposedly encrypted. So luckily with this place and with my last place of employment too, they were fine with me just showing up with it. But that seems to be the default, is they're just asking people to email stuff that like really, in my opinion, should not go in an email. Is that just me? Am I crazy? Let me know. After that, I went to Trader Joe's and Target and filled up gas. And then in the evening, I had a fingerprinting appointment, a live scan appointment, because that was a requirement for my job. So I used some things from the foil bundle for that. And then my husband was working late. I think he had like a community meeting because that's part of his job. So I used an alarm clock from the foil bundle, and then I used another Beach Miss sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. to mark watching more holiday Bake Off on Roku. I really love that food spread on the inside of the extender on Tuesday, by the way. Top of Wednesday, it was a little more chill day. I just drove my car that I was trying to get the catalyst monitor to run on, so that car is from Plan With Me stickers. The gas pump stickers that you see are really old. They're from Planning Roses, who I don't even know if she does stickers anymore. I've kind of lost track. But this day I was filling up the Sonata instead of the Mazda. I was driving two different cars at this point. I was editing a bunch of videos this week, so that film clapper is from the foil bundle. And then I played with the cats. So I used it's supposed to be a Maine Coon sticker from Planahana, but it looks like my fluffy little cat, who's definitely not a Maine Coon because she's pretty petite, but it looks like her. Marked again that my husband wasn't feeling well, and then I was painting my nails to go away for the weekend and watching Tasting History on YouTube. So I used 2 icons from the foil bundle for that. I really, really, really loved this foil bundle, if that is not already obvious. Thursday, the first thing I'll mark is that it is 3 months until we go to Mexico for one of our friends' weddings, so I just have a heart from the foil bundle for that. My husband was working from home this day, so I have these glasses from Sugar Pop Fizz, and then I played with the cats again. So this time I marked it with a Bengal icon from Planahana. Again, neither of my cats are Bengals, but that one looks more like Clover because she's a short hair, so I used that. And then I drove the Sonata around again in order to try and fix the problem with its computer. It never got fixed, by the way, in case you were wondering. We're almost 2 months after this date, and it still never got fixed. Oopsies. And then I packed because we were going away. So I have a Plan With Me stickers car and a Cinderella paper luggage. Then I played with the cats again. So I have another icon from Planahana and watched more Tasting History. So that is from the foil bundle, that star. Friday, we got up bright and early. said goodbye to the kitty cats, and went to the airport. So the first thing I'm going to mark is just saying goodbye to the cats. I have a Mom Life Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. for that. And then I'm going to use a But First Coffee sticker from Oh Hello Co. to mark that the Starbucks line and the Pete's Coffee line were both super long. So we decided to use the Illy little coffee machine for the first time in our lives because there was no line for that. So, was it the best coffee of my life? No. Was it coffee that I could finish before having to get on the flight? Yes. Yes, it was. So that was our Illy experience. It was a little confusing at first because we're like, wait, where are the cups? And then you realize that the cup just pops out. It was odd, but funny at the same time. And then we took our flight. So I just used some icons from the foil bundle to mark flying to Spokane, Washington. And on the flight, I was starting to read The Parable of the Sower. I haven't read it since this day. Honestly, I haven't been reading a lot for fun now that the semester has started. It's okay. I've heard good things about Octavia Butler before, but it's definitely written in a young adult novel style, and that's not really my preference. I don't know what it is, but it's just not a genre or a speaking voice that always appeals to me, but I'll finish it at some point because it is an interesting concept. It's a dystopian novel. It takes place in California in 2020, starting in 2024. So I thought, what better time to pick it up than now? Then we went to Enterprise and picked up our rental car, and we headed over to, I think it's called Liberty Lake. Our friend who was getting married impromptu invited, or actually no, her friend who was in town, who was kind of organizing the brunch, invited us to join them all for brunch. So I got to meet her parents for the first time. Her dad was like, we've met before. I'm like, we have not. So it was nice to meet them. I met the bride's brother and his family, which was funny because her brother, I'm not going to go into details about this, but he's kind of a legendary figure in my mind. I've heard so much about him, but I've never met him. So to mark the brunch, anyway, I use this hamburger sticker from the foil bundle because really I got some sort of French dip sandwich. It was okay. Then my husband and I kind of broke off from the group. They were the bridal party, or kind of unofficial bridal party. There wasn't an official one. They were going to do their rehearsal and rehearsal dinner. So my husband and I kind of broke off because we were going to have to go back to the airport to pick up our other friends who were coming to the wedding a little bit later. So we walked around the riverfront park, which is really pretty. I definitely got some vlog footage of that. If you're interested in seeing that, go back one video on this channel. So I just used a Molly Goes to the City sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And then we picked up our friends Matt and AJ, who AJ was also in our wedding. He's my husband's friend. And Matt it's so funny. I never met him until he came to our wedding. And they've been together for 8 or 9 years at this point. And he also teaches English and is kind of moving out of that career now and going into something else. But it's just funny that we have that in common. So to mark hanging out with them at the house, we were all so tired at this point because they had to fly from Southern California. So they had a layover because there wasn't a direct flight. We were lucky and got a direct flight, but their day, it actually took them quite a bit of time to get from SoCal to Washington. So I just marked that with a blobby from Oh Hello Co. and a house icon from the foil bundle. And then after we rested up a bit, we went out for dinner. So I marked that with a beer icon from the foil bundle. And then last minute, we were invited to the rehearsal dinner. But at that point, we were already heading back to our Airbnb, and we were all quite tired. So the four of us just made tea. I made hot cocoa and sat around and chatted. And that was really nice and really fun. And then we went to bed because we were all exhausted. So I have these cute Molly friends with coffee or tea cups. I'm going to use those 3 or 4 times throughout the weekend because it was just nice to sit and chat with people who we don't see very often. I talked about that towards the end of the vlog. Saturday was the big wedding day. The first thing I'm going to mark, I'm not going to go into details about this, but I put in a Beneva Creations bag over her head girl because, how do I say this? If you have in-laws who make your life better, count yourself lucky. because not all of us have that. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, moving on. We had a coffee chat in the morning with Matt and AJ. So I used another Molly with her friends sticker for that. And then we drove over to Idaho, like Western Idaho, to get ready with the bride, which was very cute. She had her hair done already by the time we were there. And then another friend was doing her makeup. And she was so pretty. And I can't help myself. Like, I tear up when I see people like get into their wedding dress and everything. So we were there for a long, long time. At some point we turned on Disney Plus and we're watching Hercules. Like, that's the type of vibe it was. Yeah, so I marked that with an icon from the foil bundle. And then we got on a school bus and went out to Mount Spokane State Park, because that's how they transported all of us out there. And I used the They Say I Do script from Scribble Prints Co. and a little hiking munchkin from Once More with Love to mark the cute little wedding ceremony. So it was on a hiking trail and the couple's dogs got to be there, and it was very, very cute. Then we drove back on the bus and there was like a thunderstorm throughout the night. So we did get a little bit wet inside the bus because there's no air conditioning in the school bus. So they just had to keep the windows open, but it worked out. There was thunder going on behind the brother of the bride as he was giving his toast later in the evening. It seemed very dramatic, but we all got through it. We all survived. And so I marked that with a Plannahannah weather icon, and then I used a cake sticker from Papershire as well as a taco icon from the foil bundle and an Eat Some Cake script from Scribble Prints Co. I used the rose gold version of these because I only had a gold They Say I Do script and not a gold Eat Some Cake script, and I wanted to mark eating cake because first of all, they had like 4 different flavors of cake. Amazing. And secondly, this is the first wedding I've been to since we got married where there was actually cake. And I did not realize how much I cared about wedding cake until people started deciding to not have it at weddings. And I get it, like wedding cakes are expensive, but I am glad that we had a wedding cake, and I am so glad that this wedding, they had so many different flavors of wedding cake, even though it was a really low-key wedding, because like when cake is good, it's really good. So I had like a lemon huckleberry cake. It was such a nice like summer treat. I loved it. Sunday, we are so far behind. I'm so sorry. The first thing I marked is it was my brother's 30th birthday. So I marked that with some balloons from the Prairie Planner. We had another coffee chat before we had to go drop Matt and AJ off at the airport. And then my husband and I it was just us for the rest of the day. So we went and got brunch. So I marked that with the breakfast sticker from Lynner Designs. I was hungover this day, so I used a Molly making decisions with like the angel and the devil on her shoulder. I just thought that was a funny way to mark a hangover, because what happened was I had 2 drinks at the reception the evening before, and then I was planning to be done. But then one of our friends came over and he had been chatting up the bartender. They had been like talking about stuff because they're both registered wedding officiants, and they were closing out the bar for the night, and so they're like, oh, just take another drink. So he came back with 2 drinks when he intended to come back with 1, and so everyone was like, no, I don't want another drink. And then I was like, let's do it. So then I had a 3rd drink and I got real chatty. That's my version. Everything was fine. My husband was the one driving us back to the Airbnb because I had driven us over there in the morning. Clever that way I am. So anyway, we got boba. I used a one ton in a million sticker for that, but I just was not feeling great. It was also like hazy and smoky and really hot in Spokane this day. So I was straight up not having a good time, but I survived. Then we dropped off the car and got on our flight home. And on the flight home, I watched The Office. So I used an old Oh Hello Co sticker to mark that. It's the world's best boss mug. And then we were reunited with our kitty cat. So I have a Beneva Creations sticker for that. So that is the week I filled in with deco. I did try my best to color block the deco as well, because the colors in this kit are just amazing summer colors. And then I was just filling in with little bits of foil deco from the foil bundle, and I love how this turned out. There were a few things that I had to like not mark, like Saturday was also my cousin's bridal shower that I was invited to, but we had already like obviously committed to the wedding by the time the bridal shower invites came out. I ended up not marking that. I considered not marking the thing that I did mark at the top of Saturday just because I'm like, do I really want to remember that? But at the same time, like it did really affect our day because my husband was kind of upset, and also we were like talking about like, do you need to like fly to SoCal and like miss the wedding today and all of this stuff. But we didn't end up doing that because it didn't end up being as big of a deal as we originally thought it was going to be. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying all that, but the people involved are definitely not on YouTube, so I'm a little too comfortable vague booking about that situation. Anyway, moving back to the sidebar, I am replacing the lyrics from Casey Musgrave's High Horse, which is how I felt about the planner drama Instagram BS on Monday. I moved that to a blank page in my planner with the crabby Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And I decided to just write in Lauren and Mike, that was the couple that got married, and I put in a little wedding cake because I wanted to keep it positive in this spread because this was a really, really nice trip. And so we're gonna move Casey Musgraves. You take the high horse and I'll take the high road because that's how I feel about drama lately and people being really sanctimonious. Thumbs up to that. Again, like, state your opinion, say what you think, but it does get to a point sometimes where I'm like, I don't think I need to be part of this conversation anymore, you know? Or I don't think I'm getting enough value out of following this person that it's worth all the drama. So we'll end on that note. The trip was really enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed hearing about it. Go check out the vlog if you're interested in seeing more, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.